Well, hello and welcome. This is John and welcome to my channel. This is the Kizer Vanguard Velox 2. As usual, we start out with the blade. In this case we have a VG10 blade and very nicely polished after the last grinder belt, and the edge is a flat ground. Not that thin behind the edge, but still reasonably, so not the baddest of slicers. And of course we can see we almost have a bit of a saber grind, at least drop point one switch here, and no jimping on the back side here, and reasonably billboarded, not that much text on the blade. I really don't like that. I like my blades as pristine as possible, but yeah, it's a little text, but it's okay. And the steel is VG10, still a rather good steel, and in these days you might consider it a bit of a budget steel, but for a knife at $60–70, I think that's quite nice. And just a bit of history, my introduction to Kizer was actually the Dukes. This amazed me with great action and very nice finish overall. I wanted to get some more, and finally I got around to getting some of these. So many offers, so many great offers of knives these days. So the Velox 2 is not a new knife, and still I got it, and I want to give you my take on it and continue with the blade. It is Vagnino design. I don't know very much about him. You can just, maybe you can see it here on the back side of the blade, and that's it about the blade. Very sharp out of the box, always a nice thing, and it has maintained the edge quite well since I got it, and even carrying it and using it for a bit of, daily tasks. Then we have the handle, and this is a plastic material, either FRN or GFN, and as you can see with some lines across, and holes for a pocket clip here. So it is ambidextrous. It is right, left side, tip up carry. And looking at the pocket clip, now that we mention it, room for a bit of material, but still not that much. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the knives I've been looking at these last few months. Tends to be smaller or tighter and tighter pocket clip, not much space for material, and that's a sad thing, because I usually use jeans with a heavy seam, and it seems most knives are made for thinner seams, which I find a little bit odd. Looking at the clip side, we still have the Torx 6 screws keeping it together, and a little bit strange, the Torx bit screw is on the other side on this one, on the presentation side. Not the usual, but yeah, well, it works anyway, so you have to take it apart from the presentation side, which is quite okay in my book, no problem taking it apart. And it has ceramic ball bearings inside, so that's a beautiful thing. Forgot to mention the pivot, the flipper tab, a very flat flipper tab, and some says not a pocket picker in any way. And even if it is small, it has a tremendous action. Really no problem in that. It more or less drops shut, and it opens very snappy and with authority. No issues there. Ergonomically, it sits very well in hand. I have to warn you about one thing on this one, and that is, don't know if you can see it over here. The corner of the edge, this edge, is really close to your finger here, and I don't want to push through. I can feel it just sliding my finger over it, and it's just a little poke in my finger, but be aware of that. If you by incident or by accident push harder, it may cut you. It is very close to the back side of the handle, and I would consider that a bit of bad fit and finish. And speaking of that, overall very nice fit and finish. Everything rounded and everything flush. Centering absolutely perfect. Let's just see if I can do this. And lock up about 50%. Very nice indeed. So well, apart from that issue with the corner of the edge sticking up very close, this is a very nice knife and very sturdy. No blade play or up and down or side to side whatsoever. So I can't really recommend it for that edge there. That's a bit ugly, but otherwise a very nice knife. And you might move this corner just a little bit with a Dremel or something, but yeah, it's seen in much more expensive knives, so really a bad thing when it's closed. It's supposed to be safe, and I don't think it absolutely is. So I don't know, I can't recommend it in this way, but still very nice knife if you know that. And I also have to say I haven't had any trouble or accidents with it, but be aware anyway. And with that, have a nice day, evening, whatever it is in your country. Bye bye.